Hey guys, it's Marty and welcome to Two Line Slot Cars. This week, we're going to do an update on my very first scratch build, which is the Showdown Chassis kit from Slot Car Corner. Let's check it out. So I've been working on my very first scratch build using the Home Racing World Showdown Chassis kit from Slot Car Corner. Dave Kennedy sent it out to me. I promised him that I would build it, and what I decided to do was recreate a car based on one of my heroes growing up. So there was a local driver named Jake Dyke. When I was a kid, my cousins and I and my brother Dusty, we would hang out at his garage. And we were probably a real pain in the butt, to be honest. But he was so kind to us. He would let us sweep the floors and help him roll tires and wheels around the shop, and really just kept us out of trouble. But I always appreciated the fact that he was just so kind to us kids. And so I thought that I would take this chance, since the Showdown chassis is really built around kind of like the old sportsman class cars from the 70s, the dirt track cars. It would be perfect to recreate Jake Dyke's number 92 Camaro. I remember when he built this car, I was a little kid, but I remember watching it race a few times at the Atomic Speedway near Chillicothe, Ohio, which is a 3/8 mile dirt track, very fast track. Seen lots of dirt track racing there over my lifetime. And I just remember cheering Jake on and feeling like I had ownership in that car, even though all I did was just watch him work on it during the day, right? So I thought I would recreate that car, build my first chassis. I'm about 80% finished with the car. Take a look at it here. It's based on a 68, 69 Camaro. It was painted this pale yellow, and it doesn't really come across on camera as well. Pale yellow and white. I'll be honest with you, I'm not great at painting. Kind of messed up the paint. I'm going to see if I can fix it, maybe wet sand it and get it back to where it needs to be. Get the paint on it. I need to paint the numbers. I need to do some detail work. Jake did not have a lot of things on the car. He had the number 92, big red numbers. He had Jake Dyke on top of above the driver side window, top like most car drivers have it. He had Dyke Auto Sales, which was his day job, on the rear fenders. And then he had my Aunt Jenny. He had her name painted on the front fenders, in between the bumper and the front tires. And I'm going to try to recreate that if I can as well. It always said Jenny Lou on the fenders. It was just a cool car when I was a kid. And it was because I knew who Jake was and we got to hang out at his shop. So that's my first scratch build car. Now I have run a few laps with this thing. Still needs some tuning. It's going to be sent into the Home Racing World Showdown proxy. I'm prepping it for that. So what do I have left to do? I still have an interior and a driver. I need to find a driver to put in it. The screens on the window, the front window and the back window, even though in the picture it doesn't look like Jake was running any kind of protection in that car on the front. I need to recreate kind of a funky bumper that they'd built to protect the nose of the car and the radiator. I think I'm going to make that out of brass. So I've got some work to do, but let's tear it open, show you what the chassis looks like, what the Showdown chassis kit creates, and then maybe we'll run some laps. Now the car doesn't run great on my track, plastic track, urethane tires. My track is set up for silicones, but maybe we'll find a set of wheels off of another slot car, see if we can make some decent lap times with it. So let's dig in. Let's check it out. Now with the up close view, you can see some of the paint mistakes I've made. Some things that I've learned about soldering your own chassis. It's real easy to get too much solder, and I think for my first try, I've got way too much solder on this car. Trying to get the wheel wells the same on both sides was a little tricky. John Albright, kind of after the fact, gave me a hint using some fender washers, and I think that was actually a great hint. So they're close, but they're not perfect. Again, this is my first try. Again, not great paint. You can see where I've got to do some repair where the paint bled through the tape, and I don't understand that. It's painter's tape. It's supposed to hold a pretty good line, but it did not. So I'm going to have to fix that. But let's take a look at the chassis. From underneath, you get everything that you need except for a body in this kit. It comes with all the brass you need, all the pieces, parts you need. So what we'll do is we'll just take this apart. I used George Area 51's videos, and I used his video when mounting using the plastic strut, And honestly, that was pretty easy. I built the little jig that George talked about, a little piece of wood with the 1/8-inch balsa. It was able to help me get the body ride height in a good place. We'll set the body aside. And this is what you're looking at. Pretty basic chassis, but I'm not going to lie, it's a fun build. It really is. Got it wired up. Try to keep my wires neat. Maybe another spacer or two on the front. I've got a little bit of action on the front. I have trued the tires. I've got the ride height where the rules are, 1/8 off the track. I'm running the gears that came with the Showdown chassis, which is a 27/9 gear ratio. So I do not know how that will perform on Harry's track. Again, not planning on winning anything, no prizes. But as you can see, there's a lot of solder. And George gave me some advice on how to clean up some of that solder. So before I send it in, I will do some cleanup. But I feel like the chassis went together pretty easy. I didn't really have any issues in the build. But we got the 18K motor, gearing, rear end, tires trued, body mounted. I have added about 5 grams of weight in the chassis just to help keep it planted. I've got it pushed back on the guide tongue. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So there is the build process, and there's some track footage, running some laps. Again, the chassis went around the track pretty good. The urethane tires just aren't going to hook up on this plastic track because I don't have any buildup at all. We don't run rubber or we only run silicone tires on the track. So I didn't expect the performance to be very, very good. What I hope will happen is that when it gets to Harry's on the wood track, that the urethane tires being trued will hook up and perform decent. Listen, I just don't want to embarrass myself. I want the car to look halfway decent. I'm not a great modeler, so building models is not I'm too impatient. I like to start a project and finish a project. Something that takes me weeks and weeks to build, I don't know. I'm not good at that. I'm always in a hurry to get something done. So that means that I usually rush the paint, the detail stuff that I miss because I'm just too impatient. Maybe by the time I get this done, we'll be all right. So the big question, is the Home Racing World Showdown Chassis kit worth it? Worth every penny? It gives you everything that you need for your first scratch build. Now, do I think that I need to buy another kit? No, because I don't know that I'm going to build another dirt car anytime soon. My next project will be building the Volkswagen Beetle. So I got a coat of paint on it. It's not horrible, but it's not perfect either. I'm not very good at painting. But I'm excited about building that, and so that's probably my next project. Both are 1/32 scale. I don't have parts for 1/24, 1/25 scale, so I'll have to order a bunch of parts to build that car, whatever that car is. I really would like to build a Maverick. Can't find a 1/32 scale Maverick, so it's probably going to be a 1/25 scale body that I ordered. I don't know how great the body is going to be. We'll wait till it gets here and see. It did let me taste what scratch building was like. Very simple chassis design that still performs relatively well. So yes, I totally recommend the Slot Car Corner Home Racing World Showdown Chassis Kit. It's a great way to jump into scratch building without a huge investment. You don't have to buy a bunch of inventory of brass, because that's the big thing for me is I don't know what sizes to buy. I don't know what all I need, and I really didn't want to invest a bunch of money in a bunch of brass inventory and piano wire that won't get used if I didn't enjoy building the chassis. I had a blast. Like, it's very satisfying to build your own slot car from scratch, watching it do laps around the track. driving it for the first time. There's something special about that. It is a joy that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it that much, but there's a big sense of pride as you watch your car that you soldered the chassis together, you trued the tires, you tuned it, you painted the body, you mounted the body, you did everything from start to finish. You created your own slot car out of a bunch of parts. It's pretty satisfying. So I would recommend it. I think you should get one if you want to dabble in scratch building. I think it's going to be fun to see other people drive the Jake Dyke Special car that I send to the proxy. So I'm excited about being a part of that for the first time. I've never been a part of a proxy. I've never been a part of any of Home Racing World stuff. And I don't know. Maybe by sending this in, I'll get in good with Harry. But I'm excited about it. Honestly, I'm excited to maybe my buddy George get to drive a car that I built. That might be fun too. So if you like this kind of content, you want to see how the Jake Dyke number 92 car turns out, hit the subscribe button, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell so you get notified anytime I put out new content. Guys, this is fun. This is exciting. Totally recommend the build kit. Go to Slot Car Corner and order yours today. The next thing they need to do is create a 1/25th scale kit just like this so that we could build the next proxy, like the hot rod proxy that Harry's doing. That would be great to have a kit for that. So then more people might get into scratch building because it really is a joy. So guys, I hope you like this. Hope you enjoyed it. And you know what? Let's find some silicone tires and wheels. Stick on this thing and see if we can run some decent laps. So hope you enjoyed this. Go have some fun racing.